Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. I'm Taffany and I want to welcome you into the garden. This is Tika's Gardens and I've been outside this morning kind of working where the entrances are to my walkways for the back garden because I'm ready to, I think I'm at the point where I'm ready to get the shrubs that I'm going to use to mark those entrances. So I'm using my trellises as a guide for where I want them. So let me show you what I've done so far and show you what I think I need to do for this narrow walkway that is right here in front of me. So we're going to start at the bedroom garden and come over here. And let me show you what I've marked off so far. All right, so I'm heading over here to the bedroom garden. And let me turn the camera around so I can show you what I've done. So here is the entrance to the bedroom garden from the walkway side. And I'm using my trellises to mark the entrance. And actually with the trellises here, I was thinking putting some climbing roses in there to mark the entrance would be something different other than evergreen, skinny evergreens. But this is kind of marking where the whatever I use to mark the entrance would be here. And as we come over here, as you can see, I've left out a little space here and here. And I'm going to be putting in these columnar ligustrums that are back there. That is what I am going to use here for this entrance. Either that or skyrocket junipers, which grow about 10 to 15 feet tall and 1 to 2 feet wide. So it's going to be those or the junipers, and these are easier for me to get. I'd have to order the skyrocket junipers because they didn't have them in any of the garden centers I went to. So we'll see. It's going to be based on price and what I can get my hands on. And now when we come over here, this is, well, first let me back up. So for those of you who don't know, this long section used to be a raised bed. When we bought the house, they had herbs in it, and it was 3 layers of rail ties that the wood rail ties, that's what was used to make it. I pulled those out because they were rotted. They didn't last very long, and yeah, just not really what I wanted. And I was struggling with what to do with this, but I decided to try to spare the grass from having to walk on the grass so much that I would make a walkway. And I'm going to stick in an inspiration picture of what I want to do long term with this. But this is where I put my other trellises to mark this entrance. And what I think I'm going to do, as you can see, this trellis here is, because there's a little more space over here in front of the fence, it's off of the walkway, whereas this is kind of in the walkway planting area. So I think if I move it over here and just kind of, let's see, take the grass and kind of remove that part there to make room for the trellis to go to the side, I think that that would match. So that's what I'm thinking of doing there. But here I was also wanting to put the same narrow evergreens, whether it's the columnar ligustrums or the skyrocket junipers. Although, you know, the trellises with some climbing roses would be pretty. I think anything that can mark the entrance. But I'm going for an evergreen, a skinny evergreen here. But I do think that this needs to be moved over so that it can match this one here. So that is what I am going to do today. So from here, looking out as I pan over, you can see the trellis a little bit there off in the distance. And then imagine some skinny evergreens there. and then imagine matching evergreens here. And then this entrance, I stuck my little evergreens here for right now. They're not even like supported in there. I'm gonna go get some drop-in pots, but I just needed somewhere to stick them to get them off of the driveway after I did the front porch decorating. But imagine that with the pots and some plantings in there. So I want all of the entrances to be marked and distinct. So I'm going to get my shovel and kind of carve out a little section here for the shrub to go, so that it's not smack dab in the planting area of the walkway and it matches this side. So let me go get my tools, my shovel and my gloves and everything, and we'll get started with that.
Yeah. Though they might always
All right, well, I have the edging done, so let me show you what it looks like. And then we're going to put the trellis in the ground and get it lined up. And where the trellises stand is where our evergreens will go. So, not too bad of a work. Took me about 7 minutes to get it done. So let me turn the camera around and let you take a look. Okay, for perspective, I am standing in front of the arbor for the courtyard. So let's turn. And so this is it. Not exactly the shape I was going for, but I can make the shape better over time. But just getting the grass out is the most important thing. And that shape may actually work. So you can see what it looks like from here. And you can see what it looks like from here. So let's get the trellis in, and I think we should probably move this plumbago back just a little bit. All right, yeah, we'll move that back just a little bit. So let's get the trellis in and get it lined up. So guys, I kind of dug this up right here some so I could get the trellis to go deeper in the ground. The ground here is so hard. From there being tree roots, from it not really being planted because the grass was here, so it was necessary for me to dig. Okay guys, so I am standing here at the start of this walkway and you can see it in the distance. So let's get a good look there. You can see that it has the look of being equally distant from the path. And as I walk this way, you can see I could even stand to move the last 3 rocks over just a little bit, and I think I'm going to do that. But let's turn, and I'm standing in the long border and you can see what it looks like. Oh, I'm stepping on my zinnias. All right, you can see what it looks like from here. Very good, very good. I think it's perfectly even. Okay guys, so I've moved the rocks over just a little, so as you can see, as you're looking, it now looks a little more proportional with the walkway and the width and the distance from the trellises. So, and remember the trellises represent where the evergreens are going to be, so just the last 3 were needed to move And I think it looks good. And I think it's well spaced. And I think edging out that section was a good idea. It's not perfectly rounded, but that's okay. We'll work on that another time. And it may not need to be worked on. That shape may just be perfect for this corner. Look at that. All right, guys, let's get to the next garden task. Hey guys, it's me, Taffany, here from Tika's Gardens, and it is the next day. And I am going to show you the drop-in pots that I got for the urns, and I'm going to show you the new pots for the front porch that finally arrived, and the kind of rearrangement I had to do because I apparently had too many things that I've been just kind of stashing and throwing in the garage, and my husband's just kind of giving me the look like you're piling up too much stuff. So I got my faux evergreens back out and put them back on the front porch per urging to get some of my things out of the garage, stop piling up stuff. So I'll show you what that looks like. Also, guys, for those of you who are new, I live near a private airport, which has some of the coolest looking planes and jets coming and going, and they come over my house because I am like in the line of it. And the noise inside the house is really not too noticeable, but obviously when I'm outside recording, you're going to hear that. There's private jets and planes, there's military helicopters that come and go, and there are private flight lessons all day long. And there's one out right now. As a matter of fact, they start early. So you'll hear that noise in the background. I can't do anything about it, but it doesn't really bother me, and it is not non-stop throughout the day. But you know, when you're out in the garden and you're trying to record, that's when the noise comes. So if you hear that, just ignore it and let's just enjoy gardening. Let me show you the pots though that I have for my urns. So this is kind of what I was looking for, what I mentioned in my other video, something with a grass in the center, and these are lantana in it. So the drop-ins that I have for the hanging baskets are the small size, which is I believe 8 to 10 inches. This is the medium, can you see that, which is 10 to 12 inches. We'll see how well it fits. The size, the opening of this urn, the width is a little bit of a odd width to me. Not wide enough in my opinion, but I still like them. So we're gonna see if these fit. I have two of them obviously. So let's head back to the urns and see if we can get them inside. Okay guys, these are the two urns that I have. I've had them for a few years. They're probably at the point where they could stand to be refreshed with some new paint, but for the most part they're still looking good. So we are going to put our drop-ins in these pots here. So let me grab them and let's get them put inside of the pots and see how it looks. And let's cross our fingers that they fit. Alright guys, I've got them in the pots and it's a little bit bigger than the opening, so I pushed them down in as far as I could and tried to put the part of the plant that kind of hangs over the front, so from the front you won't see the pot. So let me give you a close-up look at it. And but I like the arrangement, and once give the lantana a little fertilizer, they'll start to bloom and it'll be really pretty. So let's take a look and I'll show you what I mean by it didn't quite fit. All right, so here they are. Let's get a close-up look. So if I kind of come along the side here, you can see what I mean by it doesn't quite fit, but I'm not going to sweat over that too much, because once they start to grow and hang over, you won't see that anyway. But here's how I did it, so that from the front it doesn't show too much. And same here, as you can see, but from the front, which is what people see when they come in, it's kind of covering it, and as it grows, as I said, it will cover it anyway. So I think it's pretty, and it is really what I was looking for. So that's that. Let's take a look from the other side as we come into the vegetable garden. Let's swing around, and this is a view from the back, as obviously the more of the pot is showing from back here, but it'll be covered up, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think it looks good. And of course you can see the drop-ins that I did for the hanging baskets. Looking good. And this one. Looking good. All right, guys, so we've got that done. The last thing I'm gonna do is show you the other pots that I had been waiting for on the front porch. All right, so I am out here on the front porch. I'm gonna turn the camera around to give you a really good look at what I have done so far and the new pots. So let's take a look. Guys, before I show you the new pot, look at what's hanging around on the front porch. Yeah, yucky, yucky. All right, guys, so this is the final result for the front porch, and I think it's pretty. I just like the creams up here, the neutral tones. But let's come over here. This is the new pot, and it is a terracotta look, but it is resin, and it is really heavy duty. You try to squeeze it, it is not bendable. So it's not a thin little cheap plastic. It is really sturdy and really pretty, but it's just a simple, sleek kind of look. Not smooth and glossy, it's textured in appearance, but it's really nice. And it goes well with the design. And the mums fit perfectly in it. I really like them. Let me take the mums out and give you a close-up look. So this is a close-up look of the new pot. So really sturdy. The look of terracotta, which if you followed me long enough, you know I love terracotta pots. It's got some texture to it, and it's really nice. It came in a set of two 14-inch pots. And I got them from QVC. So this set of pots and the tall set of pots both came from QVC, along with the mums that came from QVC. My faux evergreens, my smaller white flowers right here, and the wreath all came from Amazon.
So that's just because I know people are usually interested in where things come from. I've gotten questions regarding where my boots come from, where did I get them, where did I get the fencing in the yard. So I started trying to make a conscious effort to mention where I get things from and to put them in the description box below so that you won't have to go searching for them. In case you're interested, you can just directly link to them. So that's the pot. I like them. I love the size and everything, and they're perfect for the faux flowers, as you can see from that one right there. So let me put it back. And that's it. All right, guys. Well, that is going to be it for today. Thank you for joining me in the garden, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.